It's odd that Grace isn't around anywhere.
I remember she heard it because it was being transmitted to the television. She had her head, Alto had her head against the.
No, I said that's funny. Grace isn't here anywhere.
Yeah.
Grace is Cheryl's handler. Grace is Ranka's handler. They're both here. Grace is also associated with Brerer. Also, still, she's not here. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with another episode of Macross Frontier. Before anything else, though, we have a couple of comments from the YouTube this time. First up, we have Alex Tapesevic from Do You Remember Love? This reaction was painful to watch due to the pain in the ass the Theta guy is. What annoying personality, arguing about any single stupid thing like a 10-year-old's competing with his partner. No, I am right. You are wrong.
Okay, welcome to the channel.
Yeah. Not their last comment, by the way. They did make court comments. No, not all of them are assaulting me. I thought it was funny. Gotta include some of the negative comments in there, along with the positive ones. Keep you on the straight and narrow. I don't remember what I said, so I think I mostly just talked during Do You Remember Love, because Do You Remember Love was like clips. Wait, no, Do You Remember Love? Sorry, I'm thinking of Flashback 2012.
Yeah, 2012 we talk a lot, yeah, but no.
Oh yeah, because I didn't like
it was a music video,
the Meltron or whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah, the Meltron. Meltron the Decentrati.
Or the fact they just fucking skip over or the whole Earth destruction thing, which is so crazy to me. You know, like what is his name? He does like all the Earth destruction movies or landmark destruction movies. Not Hansen versus the musician who for the movies.
Emmerich?
Roland Emmerich, yeah.
Roland Emmerich, yeah.
Like Roland Emmerich gives you a script for the movie and you're like, yeah, I like all of this, but I'm gonna have to get rid of the part where he blows up the East Coast. It's like, what? So you just want the people talking parts of a Roland Emmerich movie?
Yeah.
That's what they did with Do You Remember Love? It's like, okay, there's a couple of combats, but otherwise it's mostly the talking bits. I like Top Gun, but let's take away the fighter jet part and just do 100% volleyball scenes.
Kinda?
I'm just saying, it's weird. I don't remember complaining that much, though. I feel like some people just, like, hyperinflate the amount. Like, they get a little bit annoyed, and then they inflate that a lot in the comments. Yeah. Like, how dare he not 100% like this? But I've said 100 times now. You don't have to dick ride every little thing that you like, you know? Appreciate that I enjoyed it, or don't. I don't care, really, at the end of the day. Alright, second comment. Shadow 4002 from Macross 7, a life-threatening date. Wow, the narrator really is a spoiler. The nature of the Macross series going forward changes because of the events of 7. The exploitation of musicians going forward is because of this. Fun times.
Not really, because from the very beginning they were exploiting musicians. I mean,
they weren't.
The whole thing. Well, the whole thing with Min Mei was because they wanted.
We're watching this in chronological order. I'm not gonna let you finish. We're watching this in chronological order, so you're nah. It's like I've been on the same journey you've been. Even if you know something from the future, saying that they've been exploiting musicians from this point forwards is the same journey we've been on together.
But they started with Min Mei. It started all the way back to Min Mei because Min Mei was made to be an idol, so that could raise morale, and then she was used as a weapon, essentially.
They didn't exploit her though. They literally asked her permission to do everything. Everybody else, so after that, say Macross 7, and they're getting press ganged into the military to do the singing. you know, God, what's the one I fucked up when I was doing the Mylene manga. I kept fucking up their name. What was it? Singing birds? Angel birds? What was it
Uh,
called?
Jamming birds.
Jamming birds. Well, they have a different name in the manga too, so I'm just kind of getting messed up because they renamed them for that. But yeah, because that's basically the military's version of it. So I guess the idea is that they are getting exploited from 7 onwards, whereas before that, because there's nobody after mid-May until 7,
Yeah.
because it's just Plus, and Plus doesn't have that concept.
No,
So
nobody's getting influenced by music and that.
yeah, I mean, so I
Well,
think they're right because literally, even right to the very end, they're like, "Hey, mid-May, would you mind kissing your cousin or brother or whatever on stage and sing for us during the major battle?" And she's like, "Oh, I'll have to think about it for a bit. Okay, I'll do it." It's very much, they're not forcing her to do anything. I mean, you could argue that they're not forcing the jamming birds to do anything other than the fact that they signed up and then were horrible. So,
well, that's a different. Well,
they
that kind of
kind of they
reminds
kind
me.
of forced them out there, but they
Uh-huh.
joined on their own at the end of the day.
But also, I think the jamming birds were simply there to show that only Basara and maybe Mylene were the only ones who could do this, right? Anybody else who tried, it was going to be a failure no matter what. It's like only they had the spirit to really carry the day, and yada
Well,
yada
sure,
yada.
that's what the rapist tells them too.
What?
That's what the
Oh,
rapist tells
yeah,
them
yeah,
too
yeah, 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 yeah.
during
Yeah.
Mylene's
Mhm,
beat.
yeah, yes, 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 yes. I don't want to. No, yeah, yeah. I got it. I
Well,
got
I'm
it.
not talking about the rape itself. I'm saying that she even tells them that they are
Yeah,
dime a dozen girls, and only Mylene has actually what it's needed to do all this. And it's proven by the
yeah,
end where she has like communications with the, I guess we'll call it evil, because that's what they are.
yeah. They're the constructs from the proto culture.
Well,
Well,
no, they call the in the thing they're calling it a proto Devlin, even though it's not. It's a clone body of what the proto Devlin had, but the proto Devlin were inhabiting evil, which was created by the proto culture. So technically,
yeah,
it is an evil, which is also why it's called Project Evil, which is kind of
yeah.
meta in that they're calling it a proto Devlin, even though it's literally lacking the pro. I guess technically. So I'm just
Oh,
thinking out loud now. The proto Devlin, do the powers come from the body or do the powers come from the extra dimensional entity inhabiting the body?
well, I think it comes from the body. First of all, because we see different powers, um, and also these bodies were, according to that thing in the temple, they were designed to defeat the Centrati. So they were
I
more
guess
powerful
technically,
forms.
yeah, because technically they don't use their powers when they're in human bodies. They don't use those powers when they're in human bodies. And
Yeah,
even Giggle doesn't do his thing until he gets his own body back, his old body.
yeah,
His.
yeah.
Technically, it's an evil body.
Mhm.
Uh, so yeah. Yeah, and I guess in the manga, the big evil thing has its own powers too.
Yeah.
So I guess technically, the Proto Devlin aren't actually that strong. It's the
I mean,
evil that are strong.
well, we have what's her name, who can destroy ships by her own self, and she seems to be in a human body all the
Who?
time. So, I forgot her name.
Gepernick?
Kisses Basar. No, not Gepernick.
I was saying
Basar.
Gepernick is a dude, but no, that's their body. Remember,
Yeah,
what's his name? The other one that's like everything, the beauty of destruction and whatnot.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah. That's
also
his
a
body.
tiny humanoid body too. It just
Yeah, yeah,
looks more unhuman
yeah.
or inhuman. Yeah, so that's just another evil body. It just happens to be a
Small.
compact one that
Well,
can
yes,
apparently
but I
walk
mean,
down the street and not set people off.
yeah. But
So
yeah, I think it's the interdimensional aspect, just that they can possess other people. That's the interdimensional aspect of it.
yeah, they're the Captain Ginyu of Macross. It's just that didn't think about it before because I always thought, oh, the Proto Devlin are the fucking strongest things around. Well, I guess technically, the Proto Devlin have the capability of being the strongest things around. It so happens that I guess the Proto Culture just nailed it when they made the evil. Like we've made the strongest warriors, possible. Because I mean, I guess the only thing that we don't know is what the evil is like without the Proto Devlin controlling it, because we never got a chance to meet those things. They were frozen or controlled. I guess whatever, I forgot its name. The evil that we made ourselves in the manga is the only one we were able to meet, and it was just like normal dude, really, if you think about it.
Yeah.
All right, well, I've got notes, obviously. You don't because you know too much. Or I
Yes.
guess if you the act of probably what it is the act of taking notes would remind you, and you would know too much at that point. I will admit though, I might have like 3 or 4 notes here, and a bunch of this is. It's funny. I call the folder that I keep all these notes in talking points.
Hmm.
A bunch of these are probably just talking points, really, because I've written down
Yeah.
what was said, and I realized, oh man, I'm just transcribing a bunch of last episode because a bunch of what was said last episode was really just worth talking about, but I didn't draw a lot of conclusions on my own. Anyway, Grace used to live on the Global, which means that she used to be part of the 117th Fleet alongside Catherine and Ozma. The fact they don't recognize her would imply at least one of a few things. One, that she was nobody important back then, not a thus not a face you would remember. Or two, that the 117th Fleet was large enough that someone like her, if important, could get by without being noticed. Or three, the new bodies and cybernetics don't reflect her original appearance. If it is that last one, she could literally be anyone, including someone related to our current cast that's been missing from their backstory. Like, she could be Ranka's dad, or Cheryl's mom, or anybody.
I mean, the one thing that is notable is that she seems to.
She could even be the dog. That bitch.
There's a multiple inside of her. Like she seems to be like.
Um, um, sorry, hold
Okay,
on.
you hear
Um,
different voices when
I'm
she's
gonna go
talking.
ahead and then I'm gonna go into my next note then before I can let you finish.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't really tell because I'm bad with voices, but it seemed like there were 5 to 6 different voices communicating with Grace as she set off the Dimension Eater. Side note to that, they gloat about the death of the fairy of the galaxy, which we know is Cheryl, even though they failed in that. But also the destruction of an advanced fleet, which has my pedantic mind scrambling. If the advanced fleet was the Vajra, then they failed that too. But would they think that they would have destroyed it? Unlike Cheryl, who they took steps to keep bedridden, they'd done nothing to the Vajra to make sure that they stayed put. The placement of their bomb was closer to the Zentradi fleet than the Vajra spawning grounds. Additionally, they had also taken measures to keep the Zentradi in place with that little rebellion Grace helped incite. The added hate will flare up in all its glory has to refer to the whole Zentradi/human relationship. The fold transmission waves will serve as a signpost, suggests that they are talking about the Vajra, given what we find out about them following fold signals. But that also implies that they intend for the Vajra to get away and follow the fold transmission. If I had to place a bet, I'd put money on the advanced fleet actually referring to the Zentradi forces and not the Vajra.
I mean, yeah.
Sorry, the start of that was the start
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the
Yeah,
voices thing.
the best
Because I
voice, yeah.
really,
But
before you went into it, I wanted to indicate, yes, I already know this. I wrote a whole thing. I also believe I commented on it during the thing that she either has multiple personality disorder or. Actually, sorry, I think I'm bad at note taking. I'm gonna go to a third note here before you get rid. I'm pretty sure I'm right about Grace being inhabited by multiple personalities, or at least that she is an uploaded brain among a number of uploaded brains. We get a shot of two avatars talking and what looks like a network of synapses, but it could also just be different communications pathways. Plus, Grace says to awaken her other self, and the collective of voices corrects her and says, our.
Yeah, like I was saying, it seems to be like she inhabits a multitude. So those people could be different elements of the conspiracy, right? Because we still have a conspiracy, right?
Well, I think
To
I
be exact.
mentioned a my fantasy example last time, but it occurs to me that's a bad example. Have you ever read the book Eon by Greg Bear? Oh, it's one of my favorite. Well, Greg Bear's my favorite science fiction author. Eon is part of like the Way series. You have well, all I need to talk about is Eon. Eon is an asteroid appears in Earth orbit and it slows
Yeah.
down and stops, and it in fact causes World War III. But the funny thing is that it has human cities on the inside of it that have a history of the future that hasn't happened yet, where they describe World War III, but having happened without this asteroid in orbit and everything. And it has a seventh chamber that's longer than the asteroid is. Um, and there is a city on that seventh chamber called Hegemony City, and Hegemony City has a population much larger than the city can take. So most of the population of the city is uploaded brains who exist inside of a like cyberspace environment where you can like they call them ghosts, but you can also it's not a
In
privilege.
the shell. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm trying to think. It's not a privilege or something, but you have to earn the right to have a physical body because there's only so much space in the city.
Yeah.
That's what this is kind of making me think about. That you could have all these thousands of people, non-physical,
Hmm.
but also kind of cohabitating space in the physical reality.
Yeah.
I would also highly recommend anybody out there listening to this read Eon. It's pretty good, but it's also like 80s sci-fi. It's 80s hard sci-fi, but 80s
Hmm.
also political sci-fi, and that the Soviet Union is still around.
Hmm.
That's our big
Yeah.
enemy. And also, if you want a good reading of what World War III might be like,
Mm. Now, for that, I would say there's two Sarah novels which are called, World War Three, which are pretty good. And also, was it Charlie Company or uh,
well, World War III isn't like the main part of this. It's like a
yeah,
bunch of scientific discoveries and um, politics. Like the Russians aren't allowed deep into the asteroid. Um, because Warsaw Pact kind of isn't allowed, though the Chinese are allowed because they make good with NATO. But that's what kind of leads to World War III is that Russia thinks that we're keeping information from them. So they kind of launch a series of limited strikes on Earth to distract NATO from their attempted invasion of the asteroid, and it escalates well past what they intend. So, like, the asteroid invasion force doesn't realize that everything is gone. They're like landing like heavy artillery and troops, and they're building like little Wild West forts out of the forest in the middle. Hey, we really need to talk to you guys before we keep fighting. There's nothing to return back to. Come watch the video feed from outside. It's just a major. It's I don't know. It's great setup. It's great setup for the back half of the book. All right. As I mentioned, from here on, I've got mostly talking points, which is just going over the main important things from what Grace and company have said. Let's see, we have Index 11983E745, which is Operation Carnival. intergalactic tour of Ferry 9, which we know is Cheryl Name, but I guess indicates that there was 8 other ferries before. Personal designation, Cheryl Name. After 8 sorry, choking up a bit. After 18 months of prior investigation, the 25th Fleet Macross Frontier was chosen to be the site of this operation. The schedules were organized to make it come last in the tour, which we already know kind of from the beginning of the season,
Yeah.
beginning of the show that was mentioned. Prominent factors is that the Frontier has a bioplant, which has a delicate environment, which is important to them for some reason. And both implants and cyborgs are illegal there. The convoy's plotted route was well suited to our needs. So I don't know much about the route, I guess, other than the last episode where they showed the Vajra proliferation areas.
Yeah. But also, I mean, it's gone by through at least 2 areas or close to 2 areas that have Vajra nesting grounds. Because there's one ship that also had a lot of eggs and then gets destroyed. And then, of course, we have the global class, which I guess would be I guess they call it a global class because the Macross class is the
I'm pretty
Macross
sure that was
Seminole.
just a specific ship called Global.
Yeah. Um,
Like the
they're
Macross is
both.
called Macross, but that one's called Global? I don't know.
Yeah. Um, and so there's a reason why this particular fleet seems to be close to any areas where the Vajra naturally operate or exist, right? Um, so there's that.
We got additional factors. Code Q1, believed to have died 11 years ago, still alive and residing on the fleet, obviously Ranka. At that stage, our priorities for it were low. Grace adds in her own voice, admit to leading the Vajra to their fleet, obviously leading the Vajra to the frontier. The battle between the Vajra and the frontier began, bringing the operations completion rate to 72%, meaning we are 3/4 of the way done with their plan. Of course, there were errors, cause of those being underestimated the military capabilities of the civilian military provider, the SMS, because CMP obviously equals SMS. Heavily underestimated the specifications of the independently created VF-25, which was designed by LAI based on the YF-24, which I guess goes to imply that LAI just makes shit for anybody.
Omni Corp.
Well, it's either that or just the Dimension Eater was just a thing that they used that, like, LEI was testing for something.
Yeah.
I mean, conceivably, the Dimension Eater could have just been, like, Macross's 7's fold device.
Yeah.
Sufficiently large enough. Or a fold device for something even larger than a Macross fleet. Biggest error, code Q1, Ranka Lee, exhibiting fragments of her potential at this early stage. Operation Carnival met with huge revision.
But this seems to be that their intent was always to they chose a deliberately fragile fleet that could be easily destroyed by the Varja. Otherwise, the appearance of the SMS would not have been an error, nor would Ranka be also be an error and lead to the revision, right?
I got a note somewhere where I compare this to a different movie, but I'm gonna say this is quite obviously StarCraft.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I think somewhere around here I'm gonna call it Alien Resurrection, but same thing, really. Well, I mean, we're gonna try and we're gonna cross stitch an alien with a human, but then we're also gonna try and make them, I don't know, queen of the species. Because I've been right this whole time about Ranka. When the other types
actually,
of go ahead.
you said well, never mind. keep going. Keep going.
I mean, you could be pedantic if you wanted to, but it feels like it's my thing.
Go ahead.
Sorry, this is just two sentences that I wrote down that I don't think go anywhere, but are just interesting. When other type of fold-inducing particles, the protocol intermixed with the voice of Cheryl. Worlds mutually resonating with vibrations through the fold strings.
She's a Nome. And that actually might explain what was happening all the way back to Zero, where the music actually was influencing through full technology, through full space, what was happening. So instead of it looks
It was
to me when I
metachlorians, is
first,
what you're saying.
not
We've
really.
literally introduced specific particles that are
Yeah,
intermixed
but
with the voice of
yeah,
Aname.
but
So they've kind of got like these cells within them that
yeah.
can
Hence,
interact with
hence,
the force.
yeah, but they didn't create people out of. Well, supposed to event in the very long past. That's maybe what the I mean, that's what the protoculture did originally. They
Well,
improved
I'm just gonna
humanity.
skip to my last note here, which is just a sentence. A dream that not even 500,000 years of protoculture history could accomplish. Just to that sentence that you were saying. Continue.
Yeah. So if the Birdman is the origin of protoculture modification of humanity, right? But it also was a safeguard against humanity essentially becoming like the centrati, like the protoculture or the centrati and the centrati of the evil. That is, they misuse their gifts and so turn to war and
Well,
destruction.
are you saying the Centrati are evil or the Centrati are the evil? Because one of those is at least
No,
strong.
no, as because I'm saying centrality and the evil. That's what I'm saying. Because what happened with the protoculture was that they got split in half and started fighting each other. They had the centrality as sort of an armed force, their armed forces, right? They created them, and then the other side said, "Oh well, we're going to create something more powerful, which is, the evil."
Technically,
Enter.
we don't know.
No, actually, they do say that in
No,
the.
the ruins of the protoculture that they find just indicates that the protoculture created the Centrati and the protoculture created the evil. We have no
Yeah, but
idea.
before
We have
that,
no idea if the protoculture that broke off from the other protoculture that they were fighting, if one of them made both of them, one of them made one of them. Like, we don't know if the other protoculture had its own fighting thing. For all we know, the one protoculture that we've experienced made both things.
well, there was a split, and
That's
the
what I said.
evil and the evil were designed to fight the centrati, which means why would you fight your own
No, they
people?
weren't. No, they weren't designed to fight the Centrati. They were made to be better than the Centrati. And it turns out that the
Yeah,
Centrati then turn on the Creator. So essentially, I don't think the evil had any chance to fight the Centrati.
until the proto devlin show up and they take over the
Yeah,
centrati.
that's what I'm saying. So we
The
don't have any history of what the evil ever did because from our perspective, we know that they got made. At some point, the Proto Devlin took them over. We don't know when they got frozen in ice, particularly.
well,
Um,
supposedly that happened after
they were
Gepernik's,
defeated.
because what happened was Gepernik basically ate most of the galaxy and starved, and they were forced to be frozen.
Yeah. Well,
So
because the protoculture, depending on what you think, either he's a dude or he's a hologram, talked about a method to make them go to sleep, basically. So they kind of had
then,
an idea themselves as well, despite the fact that we do know that they ate themselves into a slumber.
yeah,
They
and,
got
and
the
then he get
itis.
then it they got killed before they could say whatever that was. So it's like, or destroyed either way. Killed if they were alive, destroyed if they were just an AI or a recording.
Right, but my original point was that we don't know who made, well, not who. I guess technically we don't know who made the evil, in that there's two different groups of protoculture, and they both call themselves protoculture, so we don't have any definitive terms by which to
Yeah.
say. And again, it's the fact that the one protoculture location that we've been to that described all this is the one that indicates it. So if they're from the same group, it's weird that they wouldn't indicate, and then the other proto-culture made the evil. No, they just say,
Yeah.
we made the evil.
Yeah.
So I believe it's one group made the Zentradi, one group made the same group made the evil. That they were just like,
Uh,
hey, we have soldiers, now let's make super soldiers.
Either way, dumb. But anyway, um,
Well, that's what we need the Macross prequel series, Macross Protoculture Wars.
and now the humans that were modified by the protoculture, at least some of them, especially down the Norman line, have this special ability to communicate through fold space using song. So I guess, oh yeah, which had nothing to do with, which ironically still has nothing to do with Min May and what happened in the Space War One, because Min May just rattled the Centrati. That was it. Right? The Centrati had their own different thing. It has nothing to do with fold space or anything like that. It's like,
Well,
you know,
the
we just
difficulty is
isolated.
considering things in a chronological order, which is the way we're watching it, and
Yeah,
which is that we watch Macross Zero, which touches on the whole concepts of everything going forwards. Then we watch SDM Macross, which is oddly the first thing that gets made, but has
yeah.
the least to do with. I mean, kind of, other than the Macross itself and bringing idols into the fold. Like,
Yeah.
SDM Macross does all the heavy work of world building, but it doesn't touch on the main story elements that go forwards after this.
Or more to the point, they took those story elements and went in a different direction.
Well,
Had
again,
to go
you're
into
thinking about it in release order. I'm talking chronologically.
yeah, because that
You're
wasn't a thing.
again, you're talking about release order. You're saying, oh, it took those elements and it went a different way. No shit. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying if you look at it as a chronology, right? If you just
Yeah,
bought a book, Macross timeline, and you just started
yeah.
reading it, it's like, well, it's weird how back in the early 2000s they were all about this, and then we just dropped that completely and then went this way.
So there's that, and that's what it makes it a little more a bit confusing as well. So there you
It's
go.
not confusing at all. They've introduced midichlorians into the Macross universe.
But better. It's midichlorians just.
Of course, you'd say that. I don't think it's
I
better
mean,
at all. I think it didn't need to be done. That's the real takeaway from the prequels. Just don't explain it. You know how all those dead kids you found that one time? There's just some
yeah.
mysteries you don't need to solve.
In this case, it's part of the mystery of this series.
We're
So I
gonna
think
like
it needs
release a comic
explanation.
or something at some point where you're a detective. Continuing adventures of detective lessons learned. Can have your badge lessons. The mayor's up my ass about all those dead kids. Sorry, Chief. There's just some lessons you hadn't learned. Wow, that's not your. Maybe that's your phrase.
Uh, uh, uh,
All right, let's see. Project Fairy ended in failure. Fairy 9 will be disposed of, which we know refers to Cheryl Name and their desire to kill her. This operation has gained a valuable pawn, the Queen, and will move on to a new stage. We know the Queen on the ship got nuked. Grace's forces aren't large enough in this area to have saved the Queen, as Stern is the only one around. Meaning, in my eyes, they must be referring to Code Q1, Ranka, as the Queen, which aligns with everything I've been saying up till now. It's basically alien resurrection up in here. Grace calls Stern my prince, and if we're thinking he's Ranka's brother, that might also be evidence of the Queen thing as well.
yeah.
Which is why I'm saying that I've just been right this whole time. I'm sure your pedantic thought was just to say, you've been calling her Aname this whole time. Sure, but I've also been saying she's half Vajra this whole time. I can be right and wrong at the same time. if I am wrong about the Name thing. As I said last time, which you kind of harped on a bit, I said all the evidence points to me being wrong about the Name thing. But if there's a 5% chance, I guess we have to kill Superman.
Okay.
That's a Bruce Wayne quote.
Yeah.
Or a Ben Affleck quote, depending on how you want to take that.
Yeah.
Catherine tries to protect her dad by saying President Glass isn't involved in this in any way, which I think is likely true. I feel like he's a fool that's being played by Leon, if anything. The thing about that is that Leon's internal monologue suggests that he isn't fully in the know either. He's had to confirm who Ranka is on his own with some false results along the way, implying that even if he is working with Grace, Grace isn't telling him everything.
I mean, Grace is not the person to share anything with anybody she doesn't want them to know, especially when she can hack systems and change files and all that.
Last episode, while they are at the mall and the recording of Ranka singing Cheryl's song starts playing, 3 lines in on the word love, Cheryl's earring flashes. We know it's a quantum entanglement thing, so the question would have to be, why then? Oddly, though, the second instance of the word love in the song doesn't cause anything, and yet it flashes on the third instance of it.
Who's saying love in that sense?
Ranka.
It's a Ranka. Yeah.
Yeah, it's either Ranka or, oddly, Ranka, which is not me being weird. It's either Ranka in the recording of her from the past, which is oddly a recreation if you read the text that the announcers are saying. This is
Yeah.
the recreation from a bunch of phone recordings and the memory of a nearby vending machine.
Yeah.
So it's either her singing in the recording or it's her singing it right there in front of him. Because I don't think it does anything when Cheryl starts singing, but I don't think Cheryl sings the word love. Or that might be the second instance of the word love when Cheryl says it. Maybe the third instance was Ranka. I don't know. I didn't take a note of that. I hope whenever we get that Firebomber meets Frontier movie, that Ranka and Cheryl are doing duets, because that was a pretty good song they did together. Have you seen that? Now I'm wondering why you didn't see that. You love Macross Frontier. You've said that before. And you'd never seen Macross 7, so you wouldn't know that you didn't like Firebomber. So I don't know why you wouldn't have seen the movie.
Because I
Having.
didn't know it existed until you told me to.
Oh, okay.
That's and then now that I know, we'll see it when we see it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to be part of something you really like and part of something that, well, part of a group of people you didn't particularly like, but you kind of like the music of Macross 7, right?
It's okay. I didn't hate
Okay.
it.
Uh,
There's,
I guess I'm glad that Sharon Apple didn't get a crossover with anyone else. Because I feel like that's what you're walking into. Something I really like and something I could have not dealt with.
yeah.
Which would be my if Macross Plus had crossed over musically with something else. To be fair, you could probably Macross Plus crossover with Frontier.
Yes.
Well, because one, we have the hyper technology focus group. So if they were gonna like do a
Five.
well, no, if they were gonna do a hey, we actually recovered a bit of Sharon Apple's code and it's on the galaxy, I feel like that could probably play out. And then you could do a whole Sharon Apple holographic concert with Cheryl Name. Because I mean, last episode you see like God, I don't even know. It's like to the horizon Cheryl Name head coming up on the holographic thing, and that's all you really have for Sharon Apple is
Yeah.
giant holographic girl. So giant holographic Cheryl Name, giant holographic Sharon Apple duet. I mean, I wouldn't
Yeah.
like it, but I could see it like thematically it works, visually it would work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have to hear anything if I don't want to. I have to think Grace knows that Cheryl is infected. That's why she destroyed the vial, to hide a positive result. I guess it also implies that she's been taking blood from Cheryl without her knowing this whole time.
That knowing that Cheryl's infected or that Ranka is infected?
Cheryl. You don't remember last episode when Grace walks into the infirmary and Cheryl is there and they've just done a blood test, although they haven't checked it yet. And Grace's hand reaches down and you see the little tubulars thing.
Tendril.
One picks up the blood vial and replaces it with another one. Cheryl is sick the entire episode and shown to like pass out almost at the mall later. So obviously she is sick. Um, I'm going to assume it's the infection that we've been testing for this whole time because maybe that's what witchcraft was, the pills. That maybe they're intentionally trying to infect her. Also, I mean, we know they're trying to kill her. I just think to what I normally do with anime, which is what is the most interesting thing they could be doing right now. Or, you know, when something sad's about to happen, I'm like, what's the darkest thing they could do right now? Well, what's the most interesting thing you can do right now? One, she's just trying to save herself from being discovered from having poisoned her, which is what I think I said during the episode. That's interesting. That is subterfuge. What's the most interesting thing? What if they're infecting her with the Vajra thing? I think it's more interesting, so that's what I'm leaning into. That might be why I get disappointed a lot, as I lean into the most interesting thing, and the show would are just not as creative as I would have hoped. Last note here. And I've been saying his name wrong the entire time. I've been saying his name wrong the same way you've been saying the Vajra's name wrong the entire time. Which is we put the R in the wrong spot.
Oh.
You say Varja or something like Varja, and it's Vajra.
Vajra.
Yeah, it's the J first, R second. I've been saying Brylar the whole time. Briler. And it's, I don't know what it is. It's Byler? Byler? Birler.
Yara?
Burler? Burler, maybe. Byler? Bar? What does a BIR sound? Bar? Is it bar?
Bird? Beer?
It's not bar, it's BAR. Bar? It is an uncomfortable sound making an IR. IR? IR? IR. Byler.
I mean, the only word I know it's IR, it's with a Y, it's bird. So.
Burler, then.
Bird.
I guess it's Burler. I guess it takes on an E sound.
Yeah.
I thought Brylar was a lot more easy to pronounce, so I guess that's why it's stuck in my head. But his name, I double checked, is a Birler. Anyway, Burler is clearly in a fight with the galaxy, seeing as he has so much protection against implants and cybernetics, especially in a place where those are illegal. This, to the degree that Grace can't even observe his property.
How much control does he have over those implants, though? That's
he doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to what?
Have to have control over the implants. He has some sort of disruption field.
Whatever that means.
What do you mean, whatever that means? One, you know from the future, whatever the heck that means. Two, you saw it last episode, whatever that means. I don't even know what that implies, whatever that means.
I mean, why? Well, I guess it would make us. It would be like a stealth technology style thing, where if he has a disruption field, like an ECM, when he's in his, he can't be hacked, so nobody can hack him through his implants, and nobody could jam his electronics or detect them if he doesn't want to be detected.
We don't know what he has.
I mean, he seems to be pretty stealthy.
No, I mean, we've never determined what the giant eyeball fucking thing does.
Yeah.
Because you're saying he has cybernetics or something. It's like, I don't know if that's proven or not. Like, I don't know what the giant thing does. None of the guys who have had it in the show have ever used it for anything. For all we know, he's got great spirit energy, and he's Kenpachiing it. You know, he can take that off and Bankai. It's the secret Bleach prequel you never knew about. Oh, that would be amazing. Tite Kubo stole Bleach from Macross.
Okay. See, I was getting confused, like which characters you were talking about. You're talking about the owner of SMS, and I
I
was thinking
said
of
his
the
name. We had a whole
yeah,
conversation about how to pronounce it.
yeah, but I thought you were talking about the pilot of the red mech who is protecting Ranka.
Well, I
He's also started with a BRE
I
sound.
was also going to say he's only protecting Ranka for like the last 4 minutes,
Yeah,
where he officially has made her bodyguard. Because otherwise, you kept wanting me to add him as an enemy. And my whole defense on why he wasn't an enemy was that he keeps saving her life.
because he is working with and subservient to what's her name? Ugh, I hate when I blank out the names.
I mean, I've only said
Uh,
it a dozen times. In fact, it's in a message I just sent you a little while ago.
Grace.
Because I very specifically pointed out how she calls him my prince. I hate that you just looked to the side and paused as though you had to remember that I said that. Because you might not remember this, but we had the long conversation after you spent 30 minutes looking up a virus clip about the fact that I've been mentioning the virus since episode 2, and you thought the virus was going to be a big, like, shocker to me that I didn't notice the clip.
No. But here we're talking about that. I confused two different characters.
No. It's just I'm saying that I said that she called him my prince, and you're like, you
Oh,
looked to the side and you
I
thought for
remember.
a second. Like, you didn't. My whole impetus on why she's the queen and she might be the Vajra
No, I
queen.
got all that. I remember that because I was looking at her name. It was like, okay, because I blanked out on Grace's name. That's what happened. And I looked down at the list you sent. It's like, of course, Grace. So that's what I was thinking about. It wasn't about the,
You
of
understand,
course
though,
he's
that 30-minute search may have put doubt into my head about every conclusion that I've made so far and your ability to remember it.
no, but it wasn't that. I know you said that. I just said it twice. Yeah, I got that part. That's not. I mean, it's not a big leap or anything. It's like, you figured out that they're related somehow. So
My favorite part about my conclusions is when you degrade them with not a big leap. My 5-year-old nephew figured that out on the first viewing. My favorite part is that when I give my big speech to the professor at the end of the year, all of my findings, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, what was the beginning again? You did remember the virus, right?
anything else?
No. I already said that was my last note.
Okay.
I've been waiting to see if you had anything to throw in.
No. We are getting into the final. I think this is probably the no. Yeah, this is a final stretch. No, this is the mini arc before the final stretch. So yeah, things are gonna get even more interesting starting with this episode. Things change with the fold bomb essentially, but the stakes got higher, of course. But now I think yeah, things are gonna pick up
And technically, the stakes
significantly.
don't get that much higher due to the fold bomb,
Yeah,
considering we've already blown up planets. This one didn't even
I mean,
blow up a whole planet.
in this series, not in the entirety of Macross.
You know, and then a couple years after that, the Centrati would destroy Earth, so everything was kind of pointless. God, I need to make like a GIF of that. Not of you saying anything, but like a GIF of maybe I'll just use the Futurama thing where the aliens come and destroy the planet over and over again. Then we had an
With different subtitles,
well, that's
like
just then we
ID4, Centrati, the Centrati attack. Da, da, da. It's like it doesn't really matter.
well, no, I meant if we like the arguments or things that I have to edit out, that I'll just put like that in the middle. Then we had a debate about that, but then the Centrati destroyed Earth, and it didn't really matter.
But before we get started,
Make sure that you hit the like button.
Hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
on top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
Unfiltered.
Uncensored.
And uncut.
as well as some early access stuff,
You can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
I think the benefit of him having a toy train set is that the toy trains are large enough that Alto could ride.
アルト君、君夢はあるかい？夢ですか？僕にはあるんだ。僕はね、断層で隔てられた銀河を一つにしたいん
A
だ。
problem we didn't even know was a problem until this series.
の星々を結び、より早く、より近く、あまねく銀河を。
So does he run LAI?
No, he runs SMS.
No, but I mean, LAI already has a full drive that does what he wants. Do they just do that on their own? Or does he have a way in on LAI too?
僕らプロトカルチャーの子供たちにもたらされた福音バジュラのおかげでね。
That literally counters intelligence that I've already had. That's a weird way that I said that. That's not what... There was a statement that protoculture-based devices can only do certain things on the fold,
Yeah.
and that the Vajra didn't seem to have that problem. So that counters everything. They call them the children of the protoculture.
I don't think he was referring to the Vajra.
He said that. He said the Vajra,
No.
the children of the protoculture.
No. He wasn't talking about the Vajra.
In that sentence, that included the Vajra.
Yes, but he wasn't talking about the Vajra.
Sorry, I was also kind of lost in my own thoughts of, do you think that he built the city like as a tiny model, or did he like hire human architects to build the city?
Then Trotty would have been easier. With a giant form. This is a model train.
Well, no, I'm talking about the
But-
model city around it, because he's putting a cup down
Yeah.
with like heavy
Yeah.
weight noises, like so. It's
Yeah.
a like
Reinforced actual
Archi-
building.
you have to say architecturally accurate building.
Yeah.
So do you think he hired human architects to build or engineers to build an actual city, or do you think he went like full model builder and like tweezers and tiny bricks and put things together?
I think, he would have hired somebody like a full-size Centrati to make it. It would be easier from that point of view.
Well, no. Well, for one, he's like super secretive. I don't think he's letting anybody in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it kind of tracks on the human side too.
Yeah.
But if you're like a real model builder, you're gonna do it yourself.
Yeah.
That's the benefit
Yeah.
or the pleasure of doing it. But still, tweezers and actual bricks. You know?
See, that's why he has the patch that allows him to zoom in.
And this is the thing that we never see anybody use one of those. Not even the guy back on the planet that got half destroyed.
現在第二次統制モードが発令されています。
お前さんってば最近妙にやる気になってない？別にやらなきゃならないことをやってるだけだ。ほう、クールに決めるね。上り調子の少尉殿は。お、シンデレラの久々のお耳だ。ランカちゃん、おはよう。
おはようみんな。
待て、
except this dude is 100% illegal.
というわけで現在14の惑星で文明の痕跡が発見されているが、そのほとんどがプロトカルチャーに由来するものとランカ君、なんとかならんのかね彼。
He's literally standing and being quiet. What do you want?
お願いしたんですけど。
目障りなんだよ。政府の依頼だかなんだか知らないが部外者は出てけ。
待って、
お前には聞きたいことが山ほど。
やめて、ブレラさん。
A legit Alto was about to attack him. What do you want?
Yeah.
I can't tell which looks worse. Brera's weird outfit or
Yeah, open to the navel, I guess.
or Kira from Seed's all belt outfit.
I would say Brad looks worse.
なんでもないって言ってんだろ。
どうしたんでしょうね、早乙女くん。
ブルーデーじゃないですか。
グレイスさん。
Oh.
私、やっぱりボディーガードなんて。
邪魔でしょうけど我慢して。クライアントの意向なの。ランカリーを人々の希望の光に。比喩的な意味でも実際的な意味でもね。
Your first contract's revenge, yeah.
そんな大それたこと、私やっぱり今までみたいにエルモさんたちと。
ごめんなさい。書類は見せたでしょ。あなたのマネージメントは私が引き継ぐことになったのよ。政府の依頼。
Kind of like that commenter said.
でもグレイスさんもシェリルさんのお仕事とかあるし。
シェリルはまだ入院してるわ。戻ってきたところで二人まとめて面倒見るくらいへっちゃらよ。それからこれ聞いておいてね。
Mini disc.
Physical media? What is this?
Okay.
これ
あなたのあの曲、映画のテーマ曲になったやつね。アレンジと歌詞をちょっとだけいじってみたの。あら、気に入らないかしら。
Sounds like the X-Men 1997 X-Men soundtrack.
Oh, sorry. It must be one of those things where my speakers aren't picking up that specific side of the audio. I literally didn't hear any music at all, so I'm like, I don't know what we're listening to.
だからこそ世に出したい。出すべきよ。それがあなたの唯一の思い出ならなおさら。
Just like a character from Cells at Work.
物だけ送ってくれば見舞いってわけ。
Super Space Time Cinderella.
One is a fairy, the other one is Cinderella, right?
社長、気持ちはわかりますけど、それくらいにしてくださいよ。
ランカちゃん、ようやくここまで来たの。
Yeah, his career's over.
No, he represents other people.
Yeah, but no one is at the level that Ranka was.
Yeah,
at
but
the
he could
moment
probably
that
still pivot the fame he had of representing Ranka if he's good.
なら試してみましょう。あなたが本当に人々の希望の光になれるかどうか。その歌を使ってね。
愛も愛も寝てる節打ち鳴らせましょうにの鐘をここは
I don't think that song has love in it anywhere.
ありがとう、ブレラさん。
なぜためらう？
だってこれお砂糖。
違う。歌だ。 いつものお前の歌もっと。
いつもの？いつも聞いてくれてるの？
ああ。お前の歌は宇宙を感じさせる。
He was spying on her when she was in the
突き
hospital.
放す宇宙じゃない。
Yeah, I mean before that too.
No, I mean specifically when she was in the hospital gown and the joke was, haha, it doesn't cover you up all that much.
Yeah,
Boom, back
yeah.
to his vision. Oh, you silly girl.
あまりうまい例えが見つからないんだ。
ありがとう。嬉しい。ブレラさんですよね。あの時グリフィスパークで会ったの。ずっと聞きたかったんです。どうしてあの歌を？
それは極秘事項だ。
ダメだよ、アイくん。見つかったら怒られちゃうんだから。ねえ。
Or incinerate you because you're a Vadra.
私の歌、そんな力あるのかな？ありがとう、アイくん。
お前さ、オーナーに呼び出されたって聞いたけど、なんか言われたの
Yeah,
か？
which he likes trains.
無駄に勘だけはいいんだよな、ミシェルのやつ。フォールドクォーツか。
We're all about those earrings around here.
シェイリル、お前こんなとこで何やってんだ？
うぬぼれないでよ。別にあんたに会いに来たわけじゃ。
Okay, being tsundere over there.
まだ治ってないじゃないか。くそ、病院に。
病院は嫌。
じゃあ
ホテルも嫌。閉じ込められるのは嫌なの。
くそ。
I mean, again, she could still be getting poisoned.
What the?
あんた一体何したの？
だからそれは。
何するの？来ないで。
何もしてないから。落ち着け。まったく倒れてるお前を SMS に運び込むのにどれだけ苦労したと思ってるんだ。
Is that all? I legit thought he changed her clothes for her or something.
こっちがどれだけ心配したと思ってんだ。
I guess he woke up in a strange place and was in panic. That's what happened.
心配してくれたんだ。
当然だろう。
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense because he was there.
Yeah, but she lost. She loses consciousness and then she wakes up again. It's like, what the hell?
I don't know how
Right.
you wake up. I don't wake up super full of energy, ready to fight. First thing I do when I wake up is judge my surroundings.
はあ、女を連れ込むときはドアにハンカチ挟んどく約束だろ。違う。誰がこんな女？はあ？
こんな女って何よ？
お前だ、お前。
アルトの分際でよく言うわね。
ごゆっくり。意外にしろ。離して。どうした？緊急招集か？
何やってるのあなたたち。
あ、いや別に。それより何です？
スカル招待
Not a great look.
任務のオーダーよ。そのつもりで聞いて。
極秘って？
ええ。詳細はブリーフィングで伝えるけど、ランカさん、ランカリーの歌を使った実験の護衛だって。
ランカの？
どういうつもりだ？あいつの歌がバジュラに通じるなんて寝言、本気で言ってるのか？
Also, the fact that the government can requisition a person.
ま、だから実験するんですよ。それに、これは妹さんの了解を得てのことです。今さらあなたがわめいても何も変わりません。
Because I guess technically we're still in emergency status where SMS has to do what the government tells them to do.
ランカちゃんの歌でバジラの行動が変化するね。軍のお偉方には民命アタック信者が多いって言うけど、バジラ相手に歌を聴かせるってのはどうよ。
That's an interesting called the Minmay attack.
Well, the episode's called Ranka Attack.
生物である以上、何らかのコミュニケーション手段は持っているはずですし。
I don't think it makes a lot of sense that Ranka would be helping them willingly, though. Given the events of 2 episodes ago.
I mean, she did volunteer for that mission, so.
Well, she volunteered to go help the Zentradi after Cheryl had collapsed. I'm talking about the fact that she didn't want them to attack the Vajra, and then they nuked the Vajra all around her.
でも気分が悪くなったらすぐに言うこと。はい、お願いします、カナリアさん。
これがお前の望みなのか。
うん。
わかった。
I guess it's the classic turn your radios off and communicate through the vibrations through the helmets.
いいか、絶対出てくるんじゃないぞ。もしバレたら。
I mean, even then though, if people find out, the TV can just turn on in your room at any point, and somebody can talk to whoever's in your room. It's the Gundam rule, apparently, on the TV thing.
小隊長のコールサインはアンタレス1。ブレラスターン少佐です。
ブレラ。
こんな形であの機体と肩を並べることになるなんて。
誰よもう。コンディション1のブリッジに上がるのはごわ。
シェリル、あなたなぜ？セキュリティは何してるの？
君の乗船を許可した覚えはないんだが、説明していただけるかな、ミス・シェリル。
私、聞いてしまいました。この極秘任務のこと、内容も目的も。
It's not that Grace isn't around anywhere.
I remember she heard it because it was being transmitted to the television. She had her head, Alto had her head against the.
No, I said that's funny. Grace isn't here anywhere.
Yeah.
Grace is Cheryl's handler. Grace is Ranka's handler. They're both here. Grace is also associated with Brerer. Also, still, she's not here.
マイクもスピーカーもないではないか。どうやって連中に歌を聴かせるんだ。
彼女の歌からは微弱なホールド波が検出されています。理由は不明ですが。
不明？そんないい加減な理由でこれだけの人員と機材を動かしたのか。
現象さえ確かなら実用に足ります。そうやって我々はここまで来たのではありませんか。
クォーター、実験予定中域に到着。
ネスト番号アルファ1215を捉えました。ランカーアタック始動。こちらから再生してバジラどもをあぶり出す。行くぞ。
Well, you know, Minmay attack wasn't actually an attack.
No.
See, the thing about Minmay just got really lucky to be in the right place at the right time. I am moving forwards.
Ranka さん。始めてちょうだい。はい。
I mean, technically, we've already seen this. 2 episodes ago, she sang, and they like kind of stopped fighting in the middle of getting nuked.
ホールドウェーブレベル 3.2 その調子よ。
この歌。なんかお前。
バジラの活動が不規則に。
Yeah, never say not that it makes them. I don't know why they would actually stop attacking, considering the first episode she sang and all it did was lure them in to attack them. still don't know what that fucking means.
アンタレス1効果を確認した。相当を開始する。
Also, the oddity that we made another Centrati. We created a whole new threat that gets somewhat pacified by singing.
Yeah.
I mean, it all feels very artificial at this point.
What do you mean artificial?
Well, we know from Grace that the only reason that they attacked us was that Grace set them up to attack us. So, don't actually know if they would have attacked us on their own. And now we're going out of our way to exterminate them, so it feels very artificial. Can you? There's an awful lot of Vajra. If the highlighted sections of the map mean anything.
Yeah.
Again, the way that they're playing like the victory kind of music. Boom.
No. No. No.
What did I tell you? What did I?
No.
Also, I can only imagine you watching this originally. Like, who the fuck is Nasara?
Yeah.
Seeing you're shitting on them making references to the other shows.
だから言い過ぎですってば。
ハルト君、お兄ちゃん、これでいいんだよね。
I mean, even you know it's not what you should do. New ending. Or are we in the middle of a music video? No, it's ending. Okay. Yeah, I mean, typically you don't have to ask, is this what I should do, if you think this is what you should do.
I mean, you have doubts.
You don't have doubts. She was screaming for them to stop when they were nuking the Vajra fleet 2-3 episodes ago. Beyond doubts.
I mean, people still have doubts.
Like I just said, we're beyond doubts.
I don't think so. Not yet.
Well, she should be. Make all the questions and faces you want. If you don't say words, I'm not going to respond to facial movements.
I mean, the thing is that just because you didn't want Step Stop fighting right now doesn't mean that she could still have doubts about what she's doing now, because if they convince her that this would help the frontier, then, you know, she went along with it, but, you know, she wants to help people. Especially when you're shown images of the destruction and the death and destruction, like, oh, I need to help these people. I need to protect them, right? People can change their mind. People can still do things even though they're questioning what they're doing. So beyond doubt, I think it's a little strong term.
それは若き日のオズマが己に課したただ一つの誓いだった。次回グッバイシスター 宿命の歌銀河に響け。
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like you think you're weighing me down with some sort of epiphany. People can change their minds. You know what? We call those people flip floppers. Set yourself into one point of view and one point of view only. It'll make it easier for the audience.
It's not supposed to be easier for the audience.
You also take some things I say very seriously for some reason. As though I'm not joking. I will say one last weigh in onto a previous discussion. I feel like it's the importance of the interconnected universe is also the fact that we have full devices.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not like I don't know. I can't think of a universe here, but we're not like slow traveling our way. Everything is super connected because everything is like a day away.
Suppose not everything is a day away.
Well, it is now because Luca and LAI.
No, but that was experimental. It's not standard across the fleet or anything like that.
Of course not, but
like,
I do expect that our main characters are going to be using it like crazy coming up because every experimental thing in Macross so far has been, we only have 4 of these. We better use them every time we can.
I mean, better to use them if they haven't. Then it's like, oh, we mentioned this. Are you going to use it? No, it's too convenient.
By the way, you have a 50% chance of dying if you use it. I expect you to survive the entire time.
Yeah, that was dumb.
But I mean, it's just a habit of what the show does. Or the series does, rather.
The franchise.
I think the word is interchangeable in this respect.
True. I wouldn't use it that way, but yeah, it's still true.
I mean, it's understood.
It is known.
But no, I mean, I think it's still beyond doubt where she's at.
And where is she at right now?
I mean, that she doesn't want to do this.
Okay. But she keeps telling herself and everyone else to hear that she does want to do this.
Does she?
So
I mean,
she just told her brother, like, yes, I want to do this.
She didn't respond to it because he asked the question and we go moving on.
Oh, she said yes.
I didn't hear it.
She said yes. A very tepid yes, but she said yes.
Well, there you go.
I mean, there you go.
She's a very energetic girl who very clearly states what she wants all the time. So the fact that she's expressing her acknowledgement in a very tepid manner should go to show you how behind the decision she is. Her who had to argue with her brother and fight to get to sing in the first place now is very much not putting that same weight behind her new decisions.
Not her decision. She's going along with other people telling her because I think she believes that she wants to help people.
If she's going with other people tell her, then she's very clearly not going with what she believes. She's just following along. Yeah, which then just follows through what I just said.
Hence the doubt.
Yes. Which I said, and then you argued against, so I don't know why.
But you said it should be beyond doubt. It isn't because she's still doubting.
I'm not saying from the character's perspective. I'm saying from us, the viewer's perspective, it's beyond doubt. It's not beyond doubt, by the way. It's not. Those aren't the words I meant to use when I said that, and we've just repeated that constantly. Beyond something. I just can't think of the other word I meant to say. I said it the first time when we were watching the episode, and then I said beyond doubt after when we started this post conversation. And beyond doubt isn't. I don't remember what I said the first time. I don't do the head thing at me. I don't know what you're doing.
Well, that's what I heard.
You heard me the first time too. You don't.
Yes, I heard it first time, and I heard you said beyond doubt.
No, I said beyond doubt this time. I meant beyond doubt. Not beyond doubt's not what I said when we were watching the episode. I said beyond something. I can't remember what it is.
That's what I heard.
No, it was beyond. She was. Yeah, what is it? The word
beyond comprehension.
No, it's
beyond the horizon.
Her desire to do something, her unwillingness to do something, her thoughts against doing something beyond reproach. No, something like beyond reproach, not beyond doubt, beyond something. I can't remember. But it's basically essentially her desire to do it. And it seems like it's beyond her current thought process. Like she's already knows that it's not what she wants to do. We're beyond that decision-making step. And now she's just following along what other people saying instead of following what she believes to be true. That's why I, again, said she's fought for everything before, and she has displayed that amount of energy, and she's not displaying that now. As you described, tepidly responding is essentially just her timidly going along with whatever people want, not thinking about or expressing her own point of view in the situation, which is what I'm trying to express with beyond doubt. Those aren't the words I meant to say. So I'm pretty sure I said in the episode 2 different words. Or one different word. Beyond was a word that I used. Doubt isn't it.
And I misheard you then.
Well, no, I said beyond doubt after the credits. I said something else during the episode. Because beyond doubt could apply, but it would apply in a different context of thought. Because obviously she has doubt, so if I said it that way, that she could be beyond doubt at this, well, that doesn't even make sense. I've already explained what I meant, so you can put into context how beyond doubt might fit.
I don't think it does. That's, I think, the whole crux of the issue, right? She has information. She's leaning one way, but she hasn't gone to that point yet.
I think she already has. 2 episodes ago, when she's crying out for them to stop, she already made up her mind about what to do or what is right in that scenario.
I don't think she has yet. Otherwise, she shouldn't be doing this, right?
Again, she's not that strong of a character. She literally does what people tell her to do.
Not all the time. Her brother didn't want her
of the time. Yeah, and then she had to fight for that, which is not what she's doing now, as you even used the word tepid. She's not using that same energy to fight for what she wants. Otherwise, she basically does just go along with what people tell her to do. There's the rare examples of her jumping out of the way to do something else, like flying off to that planet to sing for the Zentradi.
Yes.
That's a rare exception.
And save Alto and Cheryl, and also join the musical career. And, well, getting kicked out of the school wasn't in her plans, but she didn't mind it. She's like,
well, she didn't get kicked out. She got suspended, and then she used the suspension time to transfer. But these are being used as examples of things that aren't in her normal day-to-day, right? So, just listing them doesn't mean very much in the way of saying what she's normally like, in that these are the examples of the contrary.
Yes, but the fact that she's done it more than once means that she has the capacity within her to do so.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that she has the capacity to change. She wouldn't be a very interesting character if she couldn't change.
Hence the hesitation.
Yeah, she always hesitates. That's the buildup of her character. I want to sing. Oh, if you really wanted to sing, you do it anywhere. The whole mall thing, which is, normally how she is, has to be interjected upon, does a thing. Which just goes into the current pattern of what's happening this episode, which is she's getting that interjection moment of somebody told her to do a thing, she's doing a thing. This doesn't have the buildup of she wants to do a thing, people tell her to do a thing, she does a thing. This is people told her to do a thing, she's doing a thing, without the I want to do a thing part at the beginning.
Hence the doubt.
Right, but she's already decided what the right thing is. We saw it 2 episodes ago.
I think she did it in the moment, but hasn't decided completely what to do yet. She hasn't committed to a course of action yet.
That doesn't have anything to do with having decided what the right thing to do is. You can decide to do the right thing and not decide on the course of action on how to do the right thing.
Or do anything else. Then how do we know that she has decided to do the right thing if she hasn't done anything?
I haven't... See, you're attributing points to my argument that haven't been made. I'm saying that she knows... I said she knows what the right thing is. She decided 2 episodes ago. And you're like, you're talking about action. I'm talking about thought. You know, we're talking like watching Schindler's List, right? And we're seeing bad things happening to people. And a lot of people did not take action, though in verbal conversations they expressed they know what the right thing is. So, the difference between thought and action is a wide gap. I'm saying that Ranka expressed 2 episodes back that she knows what she thinks is right. Now she is timidly doing what people tell her to do, not taking any action. Because that's the gap. That's the difference between action and knowledge, or thought, rather.
I think the problem here is the use of the word decide. Because decision, there's acknowledgement, I should do this, but she hasn't decided to do anything about it yet.
Well, we don't have the Ranka internal monologue, so it's hard to tell.
Exactly.
Yeah. So from the outside, 2 episodes ago, seems pretty solid. You know, when she said everything out loud.
Yes, but she didn't. She was just thinking. I think it was just a momentary thing.
She lacks the ability to act in that particular scene. Well, in most particular scenes, she would not be able to stop anybody from doing anything. But she expressed it out loud what her desire was in that moment, which has to be her solidifying that thought.
I mean, again, she could change her mind.
Sure, but there are certain character elements, certain decisions characters make that you just don't see them changing. You know, like the superhero decides to save somebody. They're not just gonna in the middle. Just never mind. Because that's not a choice that
they do it.
Yeah,
they decided and they do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You don't just
it's a difference between it would be nice if I could save somebody, or I don't want this to happen, and then doing something about it. And I think I'm being pedantic about it, but the word decision, I think, is the sticking point.
Well, it'd be like if halfway through the last episode of Invincible, he just stops fighting his dad, and like, you know what, you're kind of right. You can change your mind. It'd be weird, though, for some characters to change their mind.
And she hasn't made the decision yet. That's all I'm pointing at.
I think she has. I just think she has no agency. Just like when she made her decision, again, 2 episodes back, and she declared everyone should stop. No agency. Now, she still has no agency. She has been co-opted by the government. The government is telling her what to do.
And manipulated by Grace.
She can't even stop her bodyguard from doing shit.
Yeah.
So she's made decisions. She lacks any ability to affect the change that she wants to see.
There you go.
All right. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Well, once again, we've been Stoneface Reactions. I've been Theta. This has been Lessons. And we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?